Hi, my name is Nina Kent. I'm the In.Business General Manager at Cape Breton University's Unama'ki College. To help celebrate the outstanding contribution by RBC to our program, we launched the RBC Video Challenge. The In.Business judging panel reviews the submissions to select the winners based on accuracy, relevance, and creativity. Students are awarded an all-expense-paid trip to the RBC In.Business gathering where they receive an award to recognize this outstanding achievement. Due to COVID, we were unable to meet in person. However, students did complete the challenge and were able to receive a scholarship in place of this usual gathering that would take place in person. They did attend as well a virtual conference. So students were asked in this challenge to use the RBC student budget calculator to figure out how much money they would need in their first year of college or university. Part of that was creating a mock budget by using the tool provided on the RBC website and then recording themselves answering questions that we had provided to them. All questions around, whether the budget was over or under, how would they save up money in order to make up for that difference, and what were the key components of a budget and of a good budget. But really, we wanted the students to get creative, show us their ideas, and really highlight their personalities. So in this video, you're going to view the winners of that challenge, and I hope you enjoy watching.
Hi, my name is Jaden Karayuki, and I'm a grade 11 student from Member 2, Nova Scotia. To explain my budget, I mostly followed along with the budget information provided, only I use St. Mary's University as my example school, so for things like school fees, transportation, and housing, I use their school prices. As you can see in my budget results, I went over, which gave me an income shortfall of $4,860. Even though my budget resulted in an income shortfall, I believe I still made decisions to help me save money, and I think that while in university, there are lots of things that I could do to continue to save money. One example is I looked at what my tuition for St. Mary's University would actually cover, and I learned that it would cover a gym pass and a bus pass, which means that transportation and some personal entertainment would already be covered. I balanced my wants and needs as much as I could when I was making my budget. Seeing my family is something that's really important to me, so I estimated I would take about 3 trips home for 3 big holidays. And as for my wants, I budgeted $150 each month, but of course, if I was looking to save more money, I could lower this amount or just not spend all of that money in a month. When researching the key components of a good budget, I came across the 50-30-20 method. This method separates needs, wants, and savings, which I think are all important components in a good budget. One thing I would switch up about this is spending 20% of your expenses on wants instead of 30%, because I think that your needs and your savings should be prioritized over your wants. I think it's a good idea for all students to try out the RBC budget calculator because it's a good way for you to be prepared for what's to come in the future, as well as practice some sort of independence. By using it myself, I've learned how expensive university can really be, as well as how important it's going to be for me to apply to as many scholarships and as many bursaries as I possibly can. I have 3 tips that I think are really important for first-time budgeters or any student who wants to try out this budget calculator. Tip number 1 is don't get too scared or too stressed out about how big the numbers can be for any school. Tip number 2 would be to do your own research. Again, find out how much things are so you're ready to see those big numbers. Find out the different kinds of programs you can join, the different kind of scholarships or bursaries you could get when the time comes. And tip number 3 is don't be scared to ask for help. If you don't know how to find something or what something means or even what a scholarship is, don't be afraid to look it up. Don't be afraid to ask someone for help.
Hi, I'm Lacey Merchant. I am 16, I am grade 11, and I am part of the Woodstock First Nation community. So I made the mock budget with the RBC calculator, and my income surplus is $600, and I had to edit this a little bit to kind of like fit what made sense to me, I guess. So the school that I'm looking at, the tuition fees for the year are $36,000, and I get that 100% paid for, so I didn't quite know how to use this, so I just kind of worked on that. So the income surplus is kind of like not a lot. It's not as much as it should be. Probably should save more. I was over, so that's pretty good, I guess. And the decision that started helping me save for university is that I will be far away because I do not want to stay in my province. I want to go out of province into a more expensive province. I want to go to Ontario, and it's crazy because I want to go to the University of Toronto and I don't want to live on campus. So living off campus in Toronto is literally awful. It's so expensive to live in Ontario, so I need to save for that. How do I balance my wants and needs? Well, I know what I need. I need food, I need housing, and I need money for like extras. I don't need it, but like I would like money for some like Wi-Fi and cable and stuff like that. And I wanted to have a little bit of extra money so I can just still live the kind of lifestyle I do, where I can go shopping a few times a year, like while I'm in university, and buy what I want when I'm there. The key components of a good budget is to be honest with yourself. If you know how much you spend yearly or monthly or even weekly, try to fit that in your budget and try to not cut out all your wants completely, because you're still going to want things and you know you're going to go over if you don't put that into your budget. It's a good idea for a student to make a budget because if you have to pay for university, you are going to be in so much debt no matter how much you save. So most university students like to go out to party, like to dress up, like to hang out with friends, and you're going to want to save some extra money just to do that. That's a whole portion of your university time is being with friends. And I learned a lot from using that calculator. So I did it a few times. The first time I did it, I was over by like $6,000, and so I did it again, but I actually did some research on like my tuition fees and an estimation of a house. So now it's completely different. So I learned that that's actually very helpful. Some tips for first-time budgeters is always to be honest with yourself. Make sure you know what you're getting into with budget-wise. So calculate your cost of tuition and any other types of fees, your housing cost, and make sure you know it's going to be at least 50% accurate. You need to make it as accurate as you can. So, bye.
Hi, my name is Jamie Tony Gagne, and I'm going to answer a few questions about my experience with the RBC student budget calculator. So my budget I ended up having a surplus of approximately $900. Now, this is due to the fact that I have been saving for quite a while. So I have a part-time job, I sell my beadwork, and I babysit on my free time. So all of these things have allowed me to open an interest savings account and have my money, build upon itself. And then I've even went as far as to put every piece of change I get and put it into a piggy bank and cash it in every 6 months or so. It makes a big difference, believe it or not. Everything adds up. Now, as for, how I balance my wants and my needs, I've had a lot of experience having responsibility thrown my way, which has had a huge impact on my management skills regarding money. So I have my own vehicle that I pay my insurance, gas, maintenance on. Luckily, I don't have to pay a lease because I bought it out in cash. Then I have my epileptic dog's medical bills, which are very important and add up quite quickly. And then at my dad's house, I pay for my own groceries. So it's not that I have to buy a lot for myself, but it just teaches me like what I need to buy and such. So learning what to prioritize has really helped me decide what are my needs and what are my wants. So buying what you need first and getting what you want last. I mean, occasionally you can treat yourself, but you always want to make sure that you're in a safe spot to do that. Now, key components of a good budget, like I said, prioritizing your list. So highest priority to lowest priority. Second, I would suggest that you put some emergency money away, just because it's always good to have, even if you're just contributing a little bit at a time. Makes a huge difference. And last but not least, for a good budget, it's really best to add everything in. Even the small thing like your coffee every day in the morning before you go to work. It has an impact. Now, you might be wondering, why is it a good idea for a student to make a budget? Well, just like anybody else, it helps you better organize and know where your money is going. So you don't have any unexpected scenarios where you're out of money. Now, what you might be thinking is, what have I learned from making a budget using the RBC student budget calculator? So it's offered me a little bit of assurance that I'm on the right path to pay for my education. Now, I also keep a high average in school, so I have a 98, which I believe will also aid me in financing my education. Now, I did not contribute that to my student budget calculator because I haven't applied for scholarships yet, as I'm only in grade 11. But it's something to consider. And then also, are there any tips that I'd like to give some first-time budgeters? Like I said, recommend emergency fund, bring in small things, prioritizing your list, and maybe just to start off, like as baby steps, make a list of all the things that you regularly buy and determine if they're really necessary. And cutting even the smallest things out over time makes a big difference. Thank you.